am Jerry, better known as Jerry the editor, and we have today a multi hyphenate, talented international singer, actress with us, Stella Pecollo from You, Me, and Tuscany, and we are so lucky to have her with the TCF family. So, hi Stella, how are you doing today?
Really nice to meet you. I'm great. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. We're so excited to talk to you about this movie that has been taking over the internet and the movie theaters. And we're just so excited to get into it. So, but before we get into it, we want to talk a little bit more about who you are as a person for our audience who don't know who Stella is. So, can you tell us a little bit about your journey? How did you get into acting? And I know you're a singer as well. So, how did you kind of get into, I guess, the entertainment world?
Thank you. Well, actually, singing was my first passion. I've been singing since I was born, probably. And, family reunions, all these things when you're little. And then when I discovered acting when I was about 15 or 16, then I was like, oh, wow, this is fun. So I kept doing both and dancing too. And then I started working. So I've done, short films, theater, plays, musical theater. And then it got more serious, more and more serious. So movies, feature films, TV series. I had also leading roles. I'm originally Italian, as you can guess. So I've been working mostly in Italy, but also I moved and worked in the UK and now in the United States. And it's my passion. It's my biggest passion. So I'm very grateful that I can do it also as my job. And yeah, so that's by working and working, I started having also leading roles in TV series, in movies, and it's getting better and better. And this movie is overwhelming me with love, and I'm getting so many messages from people, and it's amazing to see that everybody is enjoying it. They're going to watch it more than once,
Yes.
and they tell me that I make them laugh, and that's what we need always, and especially right now, joy, and to meet new people and sing together Mario songs, like that's the best feeling.
Yes, I love it. And you actually I got to myself. You definitely brought the joy to the screen. As we were talking previously, I went to go see You, Me, and Tuscany last night, and I will be going to go see it again because it brought so much happiness and joy to watch this rom com on the TV screen, but also every time that your character Francesca popped up, I was in tears. I was like, she is the cousin that I want to be in my family. Like, can she be my cousin? That is just how hilarious that you were. How did the role of Francesca find you? How did you get into the movie You, Me, and Tuscany?
So it's actually a funny story because Kat Coiro was in pre-production in Rome, and she was speaking to the costume designer of the movie, Massimo Cantini Parrini, who is an amazing, Oscar nominated and everything. And she was still looking for a couple of roles for the movie, and he was like, "Oh." How about this girl? Like, he just showed her my face, my Instagram. She was like, oh my God, she looks perfect for the role. Let me audition her. So I had to send her two auditions actually,
Mm-hmm.
for two different roles. And literally within 24 hours, I got the role. Like,
Wow.
she was so like, yeah, it's when this thing happened, you just know it's gonna be magical. And she we had a Zoom call with the director, and she was like, I'm so happy that you are Italian, but you also understand the comedy timing of the American script, because every country has a different comedy timing, and I'm so used to listening and watching American comedy that I probably have it in me by now, and that's when Francesca was born. So we started working on Francesca, and something very special happened, which doesn't always happen. that she straight away opened up a conversation where she wanted my feedback on the role, on everything Italian in the movie. She really wanted everything to be authentic. And one thing that I really, really want to say, because you probably know, or I will tell you, I'm also a body positive advocate and activist, and I care a lot about the movement and everything related to this topic. And she told me, we would like to give a little bit more depth to your character Francesca. what what do you think we should do? Like, there was a draft at the beginning where they were saying that maybe your husband might be cheating on you or something like that. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't love that. I don't love that, because I don't love the idea of portraying a woman that has that type of journey, especially with my body type.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know what? I totally agree with you. And, she's a real woman for the women, she really cares. And she was like listening to me, and we decided to change it. Well, you know what happens, that
Yes.
actually the whole thing switched.
Mm-hmm.
No spoiler, just a little spoiler. So basically, it doesn't happen that she gets cheated on, but maybe she cheats on the husband, and maybe with the plumber. We don't know. So the whole plumber story didn't exist in the script. Kat
Mm-hmm.
Coyle, the director, and myself created it from scratch, because she was listening to me and gave me the chance, the opportunity to express, my concerns in regard to the representation of my role as a woman and also as a big woman. So that's very, very important, that I always want to talk about this, because it's part of the journey of my character, and I think one of the most important things about my character.
I love it. And now having that understanding or that background, I'm like, okay, because I did love that. Y'all, I can't wait for y'all to see. If you haven't seen the movie, please go see it. But now that, like I said, now that you brought that perspective and spoke, not only having the director asking you for your input, but you speaking up in that way and making those changes with your with being body positive, it just yes, just very much it helps. It definitely helps not to have that continuous narrative that it was going to be previously
Yes,
with bigger plus size
yes,
women. And because when we have those narratives in the movies, then it translates to real life because that's what people are thinking. And you said no, let's flip the script on the head a little bit. Let's change it up, and I love that.
yes. Yes, and in general, I hope, because this is something that I always try to do with my job,
Mm-hmm.
that I brought a different, not a different, because it's actually what real life is, but like a different perspective, as you mentioned, on a woman who has my size and my age and everything, and it's never mentioned in the movie, anything about my size, anything about my body.
Mm-hmm.
My character enjoys food, she enjoys passion, she enjoys life, she's a full of life, bubbly, and that's it. She's just a woman having her life and being loving gossip and loving love and loving her family, and that's it. Just a woman.
Yes, I love that also with your character with Francesca. She was always in bright, colorful, fun, whimsical patterns. Do you have like a favorite outfit that you wore during the scenes that you could like let us know about?
Yes, and again, we have to thank Massimo Cantini Parrini, because he made the whole thing happen. And yeah, my favorite one is the short dress that I have the first time I meet Hallie in the kitchen, which is a
Mm,
very, like, the base is yellow and then a lot of flowers, and it's short. It has also like a nice v-neck.
yeah.
It's also comfortable, which helps, because you have to film many, many hours
Mm-hmm.
in those clothes, and if they're comfortable, it definitely helps. But as you said, this is my real life how I dress, how I what I wear in real life, you know.
Mhm.
So that was also something that I really enjoyed about Francesca because it's something that I can relate to a lot. And you know, I spent, as probably many of you have, many years hiding myself with black clothes, no colors, no patterns, because I so I can look skinnier, whatever. I'm gonna do the opposite now. And Francesca, the same, you know,
Yes.
enjoying colors and patterns and fun.
Yes, we have to have the plus size girlies get into, like I said, more whimsical patterns. And again, Francesca's being the perfect on screen example of how you can do that and how you can look comfortable, cute, and like I said, still have that bright energy, because your whimsical style definitely matches the energy you're bringing to the conversation and on the screen. So we have that
That's true.
correlation. Getting a little bit more into your body
Yeah, yeah.
positivity work, how you have a book. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and like how you share that message within your book?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. My book came out in Italy in 2020. It's
Hmm.
called Io sono bella, which means I am beautiful. And I am now working towards bringing this book into the United States,
Yeah.
translated in English, so I can send it all over the world for everyone to read. And it's kind of a memoir, but most of all focus on my journey towards acceptance of my body and myself as a whole. So I talk about all the aspects of being a plus size lady: family, traveling, love, sex, man, food, relationship, you know, my the eating disorder that I had. So it's always, it represents my personality. So it's kind of fun and light, but also very deep. It goes also into some aspects that are kind of deeper, and I think it's a discussion that we still need to have even now,
Yes.
especially now that they're trying to sell us all these new products uh, to lose weight.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's that's the main topic. So I received amazing feedback from all the people in Italy, mostly women, who by reading the book changed a little bit their point of view towards the way they see themselves, the way they don't care anymore about other people's opinion about their bodies, and they start enjoying life no matter what, because come on, you know, it's our body, so we have to love it first, and then step by step do whatever we like with it.
Yes. I appreciate one. I can't wait to read it when it comes to the states. But I appreciate how you are being vulnerable in the memoir and sharing that perspective that a lot of women, a lot of young ladies need to hear. Actually, not even just categories to the ladies, but a lot of people need to hear as they are going through their journey of learning
Yes.
to love their body. Because, like how you said, we are getting pushed and promoted everywhere we turn to these weight loss drugs, and not, it's kind of a reactive situation instead of being proactive to teach us how we can love our bodies, especially where we're at. And so I appreciate that you're being vulnerable enough in this memoir to share these type of messages. What inspired you? Would you say, was there like a key moment in your life that inspired you to say like, hey, we need a book like this, and I need to be the person that writes it?
Well, I was quite lucky because I think it was 2019 when I got a role as a lead in a TV series in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a TV series more or less like Sex and the City, the Italian way.
Okay.
And again, already my character was being very different from the stereotype. So I already brought my message in that job. And so there was an interview on Vanity Fair Italy that a guy from a publishing company read, an
Mm-hmm.
editor from a biggest publishing company in Italy. He read the interview and he contacted me and he was like, "Oh, your story is very interesting, very genuine, and I think we need to talk about these topics right now. Would you like to write a book about it?" So I was very lucky because someone actually
Okay.
asked me to write it. But the funny story is that when he asked me, I was like, yes, because it's already written. The book was already written by me because I was preparing a one woman show. So on the same topic,
Yeah.
you know? So it was just kind of in the flow of everything. And yeah, it was just the right time. And I think it's always the right time to talk about these type of things. I think I'm not saying my book should be in schools, but we should talk about these topics in schools,
Absolutely.
because if I had a book like that when I was younger, probably, you know, my life would have been a little different.
Yeah.
So and one thing interesting that also you mentioned is that I realized that every single person has some kind of insecurity about their body.
Yes.
So this book, and it is not just for plus size women or women, is actually for every single person, because
Mm-hmm.
every single person has even a little insecurity about their body, and they need to kind of understand that it's okay.
Yeah.
We are not perfect, you know. Nobody's perfect.
Okay. Yes, I agree. Nobody's perfect. It's a song. Nobody's perfect. So, and the more that we realize it, the more that
Yeah,
we can live a more joyful life and a better understanding of ourselves. Absolutely. Um, I want to get into
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
I want to get into a little bit more about like a little bit more about like style and fashion. So you're from Italy, and we see a lot of like the Italian flair in Yumi and Tuscany. So can you talk a little bit about how growing up in Italy has um, influenced your fashion style?
Hey, this is actually is probably gonna shock you, but Italy is a very fat phobic country,
Oh,
and
yeah, that is.
one of the reasons why I decided to move from Italy in 2012. I moved to London first.
Mm-hmm.
It was because I couldn't find any clothes for me.
Mm.
So it was kind of frustrating because you could see all these beautiful clothes and runways and everything, all these amazing Italian designers who are famous all over the world because they are amazing. But then you go and you don't find your size, and it's very sad and very, frustrating. And so I don't know much about Italian fashion, just because even now, after many many years, they still don't really make clothes for plus sizes ladies, apart from a couple of brands. But they make these clothes like for kind of old ladies style,
Yeah.
not the style I love. Like this one, I bought it in London, you know.
Okay.
When I'm in the States, I can buy anything I want and wear anything I want. That's much better, you know what I mean? But there are a few smaller brands right now that slowly, and they're very brave. Even in Italy, they're trying to sell clothes for also bigger ladies, which is good. I even did for a certain, like for maybe a year, I opened a little clothing line. It was like a capsule, like a small thing, but it was very nice, a lot of fun, and it was pretty successful too. So I gave my little contribution to that as well.
I don't love that the Italian fashion hasn't really expanded size inclusive wise, and I think that's something we're kind of a big talk in the fashion industry now, especially in the United States, that we're seeing. While there are fashion brands who are size inclusive, it seems to be regressing for some reason, and it's not like we're disappearing. So I don't understand that. But I like that you were able to not only contribute, so that means being the change that you want to see, and I love that for any person who takes that initiative, but also to go to other places to find size inclusive brands for your style. So you said London is like kind of where you were able to find more styles. When you're looking for, well, what influenced you in London, if so? And then when you're looking for clothing, what are you particularly like reaching your hand out for first?
Oh, well, I mean, first of all, I love also to go to like secondhand shops,
Oh yes.
like in LA, the Plus Bars. I know that it's not there anymore, but they've been there for a long time, and I love that idea of secondhand in general. And then because I've been for so many years kind of closed to expressing my character through clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I now I'm going crazy, like I love patterns, I love short shorts, like I
Sure,
love
sure, sure.
even crop tops,
Yes.
sexy
Yes.
things. I love everything. Everything that I can try is welcome, and I'm open. Like even there is like the Ashley Graham
Mm-hmm.
clothing line now that I really appreciate, and I actually wore one of her clothes at the premiere in
Oh,
London,
wow.
and I got a lot of compliments on that. So, Ashley, if you're watching,
Yes.
no, that's
So we're gonna get into start wrapping up a little bit. I want to get into what future projects do you have coming up? What can we expect to see Stella in the future? Because we want more. We definitely want more.
oh. First of all, thank you. A big heart to you and all of you who are watching. Thank you so much. Well, obviously, there are certain things in progress that I cannot say yet, unfortunately. But what I can say is that I am actually working on two projects inspired by my book. So these things
Okay.
could be pretty interesting, pretty funny, pretty I'm in the process of writing now with screenwriters and both in Italy and in the States. I love going back to writing as well because it's what I love, and it's also a challenge to write in a language that is not my native language. So it's very very stimulating, very exciting, and that's probably the first thing that's gonna come to your screens. And then there's a few things that I cannot say yet, so just follow me on my social because as soon as I can say something, it's gonna be there. I'm gonna announce it, and fingers crossed. But if this movie goes well, hopefully there's gonna be also a sequel. People are asking for for a sequel.
Yes, I have seen on my threads and my TikTok. There's like, is it too early for us to start planning the sequel and then the trilogy and then the movie after that? And so we are also with you, wanting more from Yumi and Tuscany because it just wasn't enough. We want more, and yeah, fingers crossed. My last question that I want to close out with is what legacy do you want to leave?
This is deep. That's a deep question. I love that. The main legacy that I want to leave is for people, especially women, because let's be honest, as women, we are always under the radar, to really, truly, deeply love themselves first before anything else. That's the most important thing for me. That's the message that I'm trying to spread out with every single thing I do in my life. Because when I see a woman blossoming into becoming the best version of herself, not because she's on a diet, but because she started loving herself, to me, it's the most beautiful thing you can have. The most beautiful thing in life.
I love that. Like I said, I agree. I love that so much. Thank you again, Stella, for joining us to talk about Yumi and Tuscany, talk about yourself, the positivity work you're doing and the legacy that you're leaving. Again, if you haven't gone and seen You and Me in Tuscany yet, please go see it. If you've already seen it once, go see it twice, 3 times, 4 times, five. How many fingers you have is how many times you should go see it and support this movie. Um, Thank you so much.